Welcome to Qatar Financial Center. In this video we will take you through the process of filling up Part 1, Pre-Qualification Application. Step number 1, welcome to Part 1. Before you start your journey, we recommend you read the guidelines displayed on the screen. Additionally, you can also take assistance from our AI-based chatbot during your journey. Please review the undertaking before confirming it. You can also export the undertaking or send it to your email address. Before starting, review and prepare all required application documents for firm directors, secretaries, shareholders, and beneficial owners. Step number 2, legal structure and permitted activities. What is your relationship to the firm? Are you a director, secretary, shareholder, or agent applying on behalf of others? Please choose your firm's activities carefully, as they cannot be changed until after the firm is incorporated. The first activity you select is included in the $5,000 application fee. Each additional sub-activity you select costs $50. To select activities, simply search the list of activities and select one from the drop-down box. The main activity window will then show your selected activity and any related activities that you can also select. You can also add a new activity by clicking the Add New Activity button. This will allow you to select another set of activities from a different category. Before proceeding to the next page, you can manage or delete the selected activities. Restrictions. Kindly take the time to review the provided restrictions guidelines, and confirm your acceptance of the limitations applicable to your activities. If you accept the restrictions that apply to your chosen activities, you can proceed with your application. Describe the proposed firm's activities in the text box below, based on the activities you have selected. For example, you could describe the firm's target market and clients. This information will help the QFC make sure that the selected activities match the description. Step number 3, name of proposed firm. Please do not include the type of legal structure in your name. Please select the name of your proposed firm carefully. Make sure the firm name is valid, and correct it if necessary. Step number 4, share capital and shareholders. Enter the proposed firm's share capital accurately, as some of these details cannot be changed until after the firm is incorporated. Please insert the number of authorized shares of the proposed firm. How many classes of shares will the proposed firm have? You can have more than one class of shares, but the QFC strongly recommends that you get legal advice on the types of shares for your proposed firm. If you have more than one type of shares, all the types of shares must have the same value, and your proposed firm must have special articles of association to reflect this. Provide the number of shares for each class, the nominal value and currency of each share. Enter the details of the individual and corporate shareholders. Upload a high-quality image of the shareholder's passport. Enter all of the shareholders' information. We recommend that you upload a copy of the individual's Qatar ID from the Metrash 2 app. The shareholding section shows the number of shares in each class of share that are available to allocate to the shareholder. If this shareholder is also a director, secretary, or senior executive function of the proposed firm, please select the relevant roles. Fitness and propriety assessment. Please respond to the questions below accurately and honestly. Repeat the same steps for all shareholders. Step number 5, financial information and projections. Please choose how you plan to fund your proposed firm. You will need to provide financial projections for the next 3 years. Please explain the assumptions you used to create the financial projections above. For example, you could explain how your proposed firm will generate revenue and where it will get its funding. Please make sure your assumptions are realistic and based on reasonable expectations. Please enter the number of employees that your proposed firm plans to hire in its first 3 years of operation. The QFCA is asking you to double-check your application before submitting it, because you will not be able to make any changes afterwards. If your application is approved, you will be able to complete the second part of the process. Welcome to Qatar Financial Center. In this video we will take you through the process of filling up Part 2, Incorporation and Licensing. Step number 1, welcome to Part 2. Before you start your journey, we recommend you read the guidelines displayed on the screen. Please review the undertaking before confirming it. You can also export the undertaking or send it to your email address. Before starting, review and prepare all required application documents for firm directors, secretaries, shareholders, and beneficial owners. We recommend that you keep a copy of the individual's Qatar ID from the Metrash 2 app ready for next steps. Step number 2, legal structure and permitted activities. The information in this section has been pre-filled based on your Part 1 application. Step number 3, proposed QFC entity. The information in this section has been pre-filled based on your Part 1 application. In this section you have the option to select a registered office address at a business center or standalone office. If you use the business center option below, this alone will not trigger manual verification for this application. If you select a standalone office, you will be required to upload evidence that the QFC will verify manually. Step number 4, shareholders and officers. The information in this section has been pre-filled based on your Part 1 application. In this section, you are required to provide details of the directors of the proposed firm. Please note that the proposed firm must have at least 1 director. A director must be an individual and not a corporate body. In this section, you are required to provide details of the senior executive function of the proposed firm. Once licensed, the senior executive function serves as the point of contact between the proposed firm and the QFCA. In this section, you are required to provide details of the secretary of the proposed firm. Please note that the proposed firm must appoint 1 secretary and that they must be an individual and not a corporate body. Step number 5, beneficial ownership. In this section, you must provide the details of the ultimate beneficial owners of the proposed firm. Disclosing the ultimate beneficial owners is essential and your application cannot be processed without it. For a comprehensive understanding of ultimate beneficial ownership procedures, please refer to the detailed guidance document. To finalize the ultimate beneficial ownership section, the last tier in the 3-tier structure must conclude with either an individual or UBO exempted corporation. To add ultimate beneficial ownership, click on Add Individual or Add Corporate Body link. To proceed, upload a copy of the individual's passport and specify their shareholding percentage using the slider, or you can write it manual that has a decimal value. Fill all details and save. Repeat the same steps to add all beneficial ownership members. The QFC must collect information on nominee shareholders, nominee directors, and nominators. Please remember that most non-regulated entities in the QFC do not have nominee directors or nominee shareholders. Please refer to the guidance document provided for further information on nominee directors and nominee shareholders for further information. Step number 6, Constitutional Document of the proposed QFC entity. In this section, you must choose whether to incorporate the proposed firm using standard or bespoke articles of association. To review the standard articles of association, please see Appendix 1 of the company's rules of the QFCA. If the proposed firm uses bespoke articles of association, you must provide a copy of it in this section, which the QFCA must verify manually. Step number 7, Review your application. In this section, you can review the missing required information. Once all details provided, you will be able to initiate EKYC for all members to sign the final application before submission. Upon initiating EKYC, all members will receive an email containing the application details and a declaration requiring biometric authentication. They can review the attached documents and proceed by clicking on the validation link to commence the EKYC process. In the event of encountering difficulties during the EKYC procedure, the applicant can record a brief video holding their ID and upload it. Upon successful EKYC completion, you can proceed to the final stage and settle the payment. The payment page will display an itemized breakdown of all charges along with the total amount payable. The manual verification icon, accessible at any point during the application process, will display the manual verification items required for your application. You can complete the payment using your credit card or bank transfer. Your application will be submitted automatically upon successful payment processing.